13. There's no place like home, eh? Till why, there is, or rather, there are, Beverly Hills, San Jose, La Jolla, just to name a few, but it's still good to be back in Irvine. My parents planned for us to stay at Uncle and oldest auntie's until the weekend, but they had to rush back to work. Jordan had to rush back to study T. He nerd that she is a. And I had to rush back a. Gainst my own accord T. Oh, prepare for E. Very pre-med student's worst nightmare. The MCAT. The MCAT, Medical College Admission Test, is a standardized examination, also known as the test of death for those who put their entire life's meaning into it. If you're a pre-med student, it will make or break you. And if it breaks you, then you're broken. Alright, maybe it's not the end of the world, but if you have Asian parents, it's pretty much the end, unless you settle for being a lawyer. Now, I have nothing against lawyers, but all Asian parents know that it's second to being a doctor. Anyway, preparing for the MCAT isn't as easy as just cramming the day before. In fact, you'll have to prepare as early as freshman year, by maintaining an exceedingly high GPA. If I have any hope of getting into a good medical school, I'll pretty much have to get above a 3.8, which auntie tell my parents I don't have, with only a 3.7. The MCAT itself is a grueling day-long examination that covers physics, chemistry, biology, as well as reading and writing comprehension. I really have to do WEL on my MCAT to even have a chance of getting into medical school. And if I don't do WEL, I don't even want to think about it. Now that I'm back, I have to make a few calls. But whom should I call first? My incorrigible best friend Gabriel, or my soon-to-be hot girlfriend Emily? As the judiciously wise Michael Scott, from the American TV series The Vice, once said, brothers before hoes. But then again, Gabriel can wait, since he doesn't exactly have the nicest ass and sexiest pair of legs like Emily. I'm so nervous that I drop my cordless phone on the kitchen floor, right as I'm dialing Emily's number. What do I have to be so nervous about? I like her and she likes me at least. I hope she still does. Gabriel's right, I need help with my social life. I decide to go to the refrigerator to get a drink of distilled water, to soothe my parched throat and ease my nervousness. Perhaps I shouldn't call her since I'll just see her in class, or perhaps I should let her call me, or perhaps I'm just being an idiot for thinking too much into this. As I go back to my room to get the phone, I just now remember that I dropped it on the kitchen floor. What's wrong with me? Why am I so nervous? I'm just glad I'm not on candid camera, or else I'd be a complete laughing stock. I head back to the kitchen, picking up the phone. I look at it, staring at the numbers, taking a long, deep breath and exhaling slowly, slow enough to be inaudible. I gently press each number, thinking if I should back out by hitting the cancel button. The first ring comes, then the second, then the third. Maybe I'll luck out with just leaving a message. Hello. An unrecognizable voice gently mutters. Emilie? Maybe I dialed the wrong number. Joe. Anson? It's Emily's voice. Yeah, it's me. You sound sleepy. Did you forget whom I was? I should stop being so paranoid. Hey. No. I just woke up and you sound different. Maybe you're final Y going through puberty, Emily teases, giggling. Why? Oh, you sound just like my little sister. I tease back, imitating my best Michael Jackson impression, Oh, baby. Hey, that's pretty good. So what's up? Nothing much. I just got back. I wanted to call and check up on you to make sure you're not violating your probation. I continue teasing. W. L. If I'm on probation, then I guess I'm stuck at home, and I'll never have to see you again. Emily shoots back. I don't like where this is going. Why? Oh, you're not getting off that easy. As your newly appointed parole officer, I'm requesting D. Emending T. Had I see you tonight, in handcuffs, cuffed to your bed, for precautionary and safety measures of course. H. Hey. Pretty smooth, but I think I'll pass. Let's go out tonight instead. I don't have any plans. What about you? Emily asks, her lack of plans being music to my ears. N. 1 et al. What do you feel like eating? B. Ing that I'm Korean, let's go eat some Korean food. Maybe we should go to Koreatown. I haven't been there in so long. For Emily, I'll go anywhere, even ethnocentric Koreatown. S. Sounds like a date. What time should I pick you up? I ask, jumping up and down in excitement, like a kangaroo shot in the ass with a tranquilizer gun. W. L. As my newly appointed parole officer, you should know my time schedule and curfew, right? Emily jokes, her sense of humor even more resplendent than her beauty. H. Aha, pretty funny. All right, how about 5 o'clock? I need to get my nails and makeup done. I joke reciprocal Y. S. Seriously? Emily gasps. N. Oh, not seriously. I'm not Gabriel. H. Aha. Well, if you were, you'd be very pretty like him. I don't want to think of him as pretty. A. Right then, 5 o'clock. Let me give you my address. While I'm writing down the directions, I display an ineffably big smirk on my face, as if I've been daydreaming about Emily all day long. Jordan walks past me and gives me a queer eye, the same eye at Grandma's funeral. Jo. Anson, why do you look like an idiot? Jordan dares to ask, not thinking before she speaks. S always. I have a date tonight. I whisper to her, covering the bottom part of the phone with my hand. W. Who the hell would want to date you? Jordan persists, looking as if she's ready to start a fight. W. Why do you have to be so negative all of the time, Jordan? B. Because you're a loser. Jordan walks out of the kitchen and back upstairs to her room. I don't understand her sometimes. H. L. All of the time. She never used to be like this. We used to be able to talk without being at each other's throats. But now, something has changed. She's completely different now that she's going to Stanford. Is she stressed out from all of her studying, so she has to take it out on me? Or is it because she thinks that she's better than me since she's going to Stanford and I'm not, thus, giving her the reason to be so indignant with her affronts? Whatever the case may be, she's real starting to get on my nerves. I'll have to deal with her later at least before I take my MCAT, or else she'll stop at no. And with her insults if I perform miserably on it. I have about 4 hours before my date with Emily to prepare for my usual get ready for a date routine, which isn't real a routine because I hardly ever go on dates. First, I pick out my wardrobe, a Banana Republic stretch polo with matching indigo, bootcut jeans. W. 8. I've worn all this before when Emily saw me at Auntie's church in Palo Alto, so instead, I'll just put on a blue Salvatore Ferragamo dress shirt with matching bootcut, beige chinos. Second, I take an hour shower, careful while lathering, scrubbing, and cleaning every crevice of my body, like I'm at a car wash, being detailed by a lineup of illegal immigrants. I soap myself up from head to toe, but I don't rinse right away. Oh, need to rush. I let it all soak in, marinating and tenderizing my body like a glazed sirloin steak ready to be grilled. After several minutes, I rinse off all of the suds and get out to dry myself. But it doesn't end there. Oh. No. I get some of my favorite organic cologne, Urban Cowboy. Trademark organic cologne dusk. Trademark and spray it all over my body like it's water tea. He scent so strong that you can taste it. That's one way to eat organic. Afterwards, I gel my hair so stiff that a jackhammer won't be able to chisel it. I complete my hygienic marathon by putting on my outfit, to ultimately become the superhero known as Ordinary Asian Guy. Last but not least, I look at a full-length mirror and picture myself with the body of a Greek god. Actual why, this isn't usual why what I do, but I might as well since I have lots of time to spare. With more than 2 hours left and my routine completely done, I'm good to go. Maybe I'll get a head start and study for my MCAT before my date. What the hell am I thinking? Why would I want to do that? Studying for the MCAT would make me miserable, too miserable before a date. I have to get my game face on. All this time left is a kill ER. Oh crap. I total why forgot to call Gabriel. I'll have lots of time to chat with him, plus, he can tell me what to do on my date with Emily, since I need all the advice that I can muster. I dial Gabriel's number on my phone and after 4 rings, he picks up. Loser, Gabriel opens. Why does everyone call me that? Man. I just got back. And guess what? I have a date tonight with Emily. I announce excitedly, hoping for some praise and acclamation. Right? Dude, that's awesome. Gabriel replies with the praise and acclamation I was hoping for. I know, right? I can't believe it. I'm going on a date tonight with Emily. I can't believe it either, Gabriel teases. She's on crack. Ho isn't? We're in LA. I can't believe I'm going on a date tonight, with Emily. I repeat. Why? I know. Gabriel replies, so you want me to chaperone, newbie? Crew you. I think I can handle this, I hope, I confess, not real why sure if I'll screw this up or not. Auntie worry, bro, Gabriel says comforting me. Be cool and be yourself. Wait, don't be yourself. Just be cool and you'll do fine. Thanks. I reply sarcastical why? Why? Oh you're a big help. If you screw this up, you can always go on a date with her little sister. Gabriel. Kids, knowing that she's only 14. How about instead I chaperone the both of you, Captain Statutory? I return jokingly. Get through tonight first, Gabriel advises, and then we'll see. Get off the phone with me so you can do your thing. By the way, in the event that you get lucky, which is next to hell freezing over, leave a pack of condoms in your car and say that they're mine, so that she doesn't think you planned it. Abriel, you're a genius. I knew there was a reason for your existence. Why? Yeah, to serve you, Johnson. Now get off the phone, good luck, behave, stay in school, don't do drugs, and tell me all about it tomorrow because tonight, you'll be doing you know what. Gabriel hangs up the phone, finishing his statement with a bang. I arrive at Emily's house, which is also here in Irvine, right before 5 o'clock, not too early and not late. She lives in Shady Canyon, the most affluent part of Irvine, in a commodious 2-story, French provincial-styled house with a white picket fence surrounding the capacious yard and a black metal security gate in front of the long driveway. I pull up to the gate intercom to press the talk button. The gate opens, without me even saying a word, and I park my car near the front door. As I get out, I'm careful not to step on the wet grass and all the shoes and sandals outside the doorway of her house. I press the doorbell and soon after, I can hear rapid footsteps coming down the stairs. Hump, thump, 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 thump. Within mere moments, the door opens and I see Emily, showing her magnificent smile which pierces through me with ineffable waves of joy and delight. I just stand there, staring at her remarkable presence. She is the consummate female. Emily is truly the most beautiful girl that I've ever laid my eyes on. Hey, gorgeous, I greet her, forthright with conviction. Hey yourself, Emily cheerful Y replies. Should we go or should we just stare at each other all day? The latter definitely sounds fine. The latter? I don't feel like going on a date with a dork. Do you feel like going on a date with a future doctor? Yes, Dr. Johnson, Emily quickly answers, laughing. Well, let's go then. I'll write you a prescription for a good time. I real Y am a dork. 14. Halfway through our drive to Koreatown, which is just west of downtown LA, Emily and I talked about everything, family, friends, college, even the nefarious MCAT. We're both about to take it for the first time, and we're both very nervous about it. It's good to know that I'm not the only one with anxieties about the MCAT, after all, it's only the biggest obstacle of my life. I've thought about the second place option of being a lawyer, but I'm just not cut out for it. I just can't defend people that I know that are guilty, and besides, I hate going to court. Court is like a country club full of backstabbers, betrayers, traitors, otherwise known as politicians, and anyway, I'm not invited, nor do I want to be. I wouldn't make it in law school, there's just no way. As we approach the outskirts of LA, I can see the intense barrage of graffiti on the sides of buildings along the freeway. Some of the artwork can actually merit an exhibit at an art gallery, unlike one particular piece of graffiti which catches my eye, the one and only Joe, sprayed in pink paint across the boarded doors of an abandoned warehouse. The one and only Joe. Of course I know that Joe, since he's the one and only, there can't be any other Joes in this world, since he's the one and only, right? I don't necessarily mind graffiti, but at least spray something clever, not something stupid. Does he real think he's the one and only Joe? I should spray the second and other Joe right next to his, except that I don't carry a can of spray paint with me, plus, I'm on a date and graffiti's not worth my time. Idiocy like this real irritates me to an astounding degree. Emily turns off the radio, which is tragic because the Velvet Underground's Sweet Jane was playing, one of my favorite songs of all time. He wonderful things I have to give up. For women. So Johnson, what do you usually like to eat? Emily asks, pulling a compact mirror out of her Coach purse, probably to check her makeup. I usually like to eat organic stuff, but my parents always shop at Asia World Market to buy all of our groceries. How about you? I usually stick with Korean food. My parents also shop at Asia World Market to buy all of our groceries. Asian parents real are all alike, even where they shop. Besides Korean food, what else do you like to eat? Anything but Vietnamese food. It's so ghetto. It's what peasants eat, Emily stresses, a hint of disgust in her voice. I see. I pause, not saying a word after that. Oh, no ot Emily. I thought that she would be different from all the other girls. I can't believe she just said that. She probably believes in the Asian status hierarchy, in which the Koreans are supposedly better than the Vietnamese. The thing about Korean culture is that the people are very competitive, and extremely superficial. Remember the advocation of double eyelid surgery for girls as well as parental accepted prostitution? Well, it doesn't stop there. Koreans like to indoctrinate and control Had a surprise Air kids at a very young age, a special why when they are impressionable babies. When a Korean baby is a year old, for instance, Koreans celebrate by giving gold and cash Had a surprise. Moreover, Korean parents like to lay out certain material objects on the floor to see which ones their babies will grab first, their choice determining their future field of profession, money for finance, mobile phone for technology, prescription drug container for medicine or if they're not too careful, drug dealer. All jokes aside, it's appalling that Korean parents start their method of control even before the baby can even walk. Start them young to get them young should be the motto of Al Korean and Asian parents. As if this isn't bad enough, Korean and Asian parents are willing to make an exception to the doctor or lawyer requirement, so long as you make a lot of money to make up for your aberrant behavior. Sandra Oh, a Korean actress born in Canada, is one such exception. Her parents wanted her to become a doctor and were gravely disappointed when she aspired to become an actress. Well, guess what? Now that she's been in major motion pictures and hit television series, her parents have retracted that disappointment and are now basking in her fame and fortune, total why approving her choice of profession, as if they've always known that she would be a famous actress one day. Remember, it's always about the money, so if you can't be a doctor or lawyer then you better become Bill Gates. Last but not least, you'll find this real why funny. The Koreans of Koreatown actual why held a parade after Alice Kim and Nicolas Cage, a famous actor, got married in 2004. Many Koreans celebrated this marriage as a win for the burgeoning Korean cultural movement, as if they themselves did something to help accomplish this major feat. For crying out loud, it's not like they cured cancer. But for Koreans, one of them getting married to a famous American celebrity means more than curing cancer. How superficial and pretentious. Instead, why don't they hold a parade to withdraw all the soldiers fighting in the neoconservative, undeclared Iraq War? Instead, why don't they hold a parade for all the Americans that participated in the World Cup? The reason is because these things do not relate to the big 3M. Money, status, and power. Least for them. If it doesn't affect them directly or in relation to how it affects them, then it's not important. Care to guess what's truly important to them? You're probably thinking, why am I just bashing Koreans? It's not just them. The Japanese are just as bad, working like slaves in order to show off their money, spending it excessively like they're kings and not giving a damn about anything else. The Chinese work like slaves, too, but are known to be cheap and will do anything like putting melamine in milk. Or lead in toys Just to save money, throwing morals and ethics out the window. Then you have the rest of Indochina He Vietnamese, Laotians, Cambodians, too many to list. Following the Chinese, Korean, and Japanese, striving to obtain a small piece of that greed file pie. It's true that ethnic heritages like Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and Vietnamese are different, but they are all the same when it comes to one thing, money. They all want their kids to grow up to become doctors and lawyers. Why? Only. They all want to live in the United States of America. Why? Only. Remember, they can care less about freedom, liberty, and patriotism. That's insignificant compared to money. They would be more than happy to live in a despotic, totalitarian society, just as long as they make lots of money. Mommy once told me that the reason why Asians love money so much is because it will always be there, unlike governments which fail. Does she real why believe her own crap? Has she not heard of the German hyperinflation in 1923? Or the hyperinflation of Chinese currency during World War II and shortly thereafter with the rise of Mao's Communist Party? Even the mighty Romans experienced a complete collapse in their fiat currency. Money will not always be there, so I just wish she would stop making excuses and just admit that she's obsessed with money, like so many Asians. Anyway, all cultures in Asia are different, but they are all the same when it comes to one thing. And do you know what that one thing is? And if you still don't believe me about the Asian status hierarchy, then ask a Korean mother what she thinks about her son marrying a Vietnamese girl. And vice versa. And see what kind of an answer that you get. Then come and talk to me if you still don't believe. I decide to take the Vermont Avenue exit, in order to escape the heavy traffic associated with the later exits. I turn left on Western Avenue and continue on past Wilshire Boulevard, the entire area saturated with Korean stores and restaurants. Thus, we're now in Koreatown. After driving for what seems like hours because of the traffic, Emily points at Koreatown Galleria, the shopping mecca of Korean glitz and glamour. In actuality, it's just a small shopping mall with a few Korean restaurants and retail stores. Not surprising that the Koreans named it a Galleria in order to make it sound grandiose and spectacular. I drive into the parking garage and park my car on the first level, so that it's easier for me to remember. Emily and I walk in, observing the crowd of Korean people moving about the mall. We coalesce into the crowd, blending in, walking and window shopping at the same time. "Oh, look at that dress, Johnson," Emily directs with her finger, pointing to the white sheath dress in the store window. "That looks exquisite," I lie, trying to hide my disinterest. "I wish I could fast forward this date and get to the good stuff. I'm going to try it on." "Come on," Emily commands, grabbing my right hand and dragging me into the store, with no possible escape in order. If you don't know what just happened, I got caught in a trap. With Asian girls, you'll have to buy them what they want or they won't give you what you want. I'm lucky that I brought Daddy's credit card, for emergency purchases only, emergency purchases such as white sheath dresses in order to win over a girl. I'll be unlucky with Daddy later. Emily asks the store manager to get the dress in different sizes, in order to try them on and find the right one. The store manager comes back holding a mountain of dresses so high that her face is completely hidden. She's also carrying several other items, apparently different accessories that match the sheath dress, which precipitates a lurid, haunting fear in me with the thought that Daddy's credit card will soon be maxed out. On the bright side, I won't have to worry about getting into medical school since Daddy will surely kill me. Emily takes the dresses, and much to my excitement, tells me that she'll model each of them, one by one, for my approval. And entertainment. Now we're getting to the good stuff. She enters the fitting room, and I grab a chair to sit in, waiting for my supermodel. The store manager comes up to me and asks me if I would like something to drink. I decline since Emily and I are about to go eat. The store manager then asks, "What is your nationality?" "Oh, here we go again. I'm American, that's my nationality," I intelligently reply, knowing full well that she will not accept my truthful answer. "No. I mean, your nationality. Are you Korean?" She mistakenly asks again, not knowing that I've already answered her question. "My nationality is American." She looks at me with a condescending glare and walks away into the back of the store. Asians asking other Asians about their ethnicity or racial heritage, not nationality. It's the same as people asking the proverbial, "W. Hat do you do?" Asian people are sizing you up, to see if you're an ethnicity worth talking to. Apparently, the store manager didn't like my answer and judges those that do not adhere to the sacrosanct Asian status hierarchy. After what real Y seems like an eternity, Emily final Y comes out, her stunning beauty magnified by the white sheath dress. She walks down the hallway, looking like an ethereal Y divine angel sent to save me. "Well, what do you think?" "You look amazing," I reply, "but I might look better in it." I love joking with her. How about we have a dress off and find out who real Y looks better? Emily rebuts, overturning my joke in her favor. I get up from the chair and walk over to her. I think you'll look much better in it, I concede, letting her win for my favor. Suddenly, she kisses me, her soft, tender lips pressing against mine, as the bangs of her hair lightly caresses my cheek. I eagerly yield to her, forgetting everything else in the world. Oh, if I say that you look better than me in lingerie, will you try that on for me, too? I kid, playing off her kiss like it was an insignificant moment, though, it truly was the most significant moment of my life. Haha. You're lucky you got lip action, Han. Keep pressing your luck and we'll see if you get any more. Her warning puts me in my place. Emily finishes putting on the last dress, not finding the fit copacetic. She decides not to try on any of the matching accessories, including the white gold mariner bracelet that piqued her interest earlier. Emily doesn't know it, but she just saved my life, as any extravagant purchases on Daddy's credit card would surely mean my death. We leave the store and head upstairs to the food court, which is comprised of several restaurants displaying a vast array of Korean food. Emily orders for the both of us, as I willingly put my trust in her. She decides on a simple meal consisting of a few dishes, bulgogi, thin slices of barbecued beef sirloin in a marinade of special sauces, spices, and other ingredients, kimchi, fermented cabbage with various spicy seasonings, japchae, stir-fried noodles in sesame oil with sliced beef and mixed vegetables, bibimbap, warm white rice with an egg on top of sautéed vegetables in cooked chili pepper paste, to drink, 2 bottled mineral waters and yes, this entire meal is actual why simple. I decide to hold off on the alcohol, since Asians are known to get flushed red in the face with just a mere sip. Trust me, it's not pretty. But then again, maybe I should order a few beers so that Emily can get drunk, since women are much easier when they're drunk. And when I say easier, I don't necessarily mean sexual yo. Or maybe I do, don't kill me. After eating our meal, we tour the rest of Koreatown Gal area. Emily tells me that she wants to check out a bookstore on the upper level, next to the balustrade of the food court balcony. I think this is a great idea, since I need to catch up on my reading. Upon entering, I see a multifarious selection of Korean magazines, newspapers, books both soft and hardcover educational toys, and puzzle games. Emily focuses her attention on the stack of beauty magazines, so I decide to peruse the literary section on the other side of the bookstore. A few of the books draw my attention, but I consider saving the money instead and just checking them out at the library tomorrow. All of a sudden, I feel a tap on my left shoulder. I turn around to see Calliope, a classmate of mine from neurobiology at UCI, smiling and holding a pile of books. Calliope is named after Homer's muse exceedingly beautiful. Almost as beautiful as Emily, but of course, I'm partial to my lovely date, which I need to be careful since I don't want to get in trouble for talking to another attractive girl. We all know how jealous girls can get. I've hung out with Calliope before, since we were lab partners for many of our school assignments, and she's the typical Asian girl, smart, studious, a Kate Michael Y gifted UT without any common sense. She's got book smarts but lacks street smarts. In fact, she wouldn't even know what street she's driving on if you asked her. I once told her a joke, what do you call a cow with no legs? Round beef, and she looked at me discombobulated, confusion completely overwhelming her. Final why, she said. Why would ground beef have legs? It's already ground up. I shook my head in disappointment and disapproval Andy explained to her that a cow with no legs would fall to the ground, thus, it would be called ground beef, like at the grocery store. Guess what? She still didn't get it. That's what you get with so many Asian girls, and Asians guys as well. I'm not saying all Asians are like Calliope, but if you go ask an Asian person something unrelated to academia for instance, a common sense question such as how do you weigh a golden retriever accurately with a bathroom scale? Or how do you tell what time it is at night without looking at a clock or watch? I guarantee that you'll get a blank stare. Also, the reason that Asians can't drive well is because it involves common sense. Actual driving can't come from a textbook. Book smarts Asians, street smarts not Asians. I'll elaborate a little bit more on Asian girls and their lack of street smarts and common sense. I was at a restaurant a few years ago with a group of Asian friends, guys and girls. After we finished eating, we went outside and the girls suddenly started yelling and screaming, hysterical beyond belief. Of course, the guys are trying to figure out what exactly was the problem. The girls pointed fiercely at the ground, at a little caterpillar crawling on the pavement. I stared at the girls. Itho, what the hell? Look on my face, Andy bent down to gently pick up the caterpillar and put it in the grass just a few inches away. Apparently, that studying didn't teach them how to simply pick up an innocuous, little caterpillar. Calliope puts her pile of books down and steps over to give me a light hug. I glance over to the magazine section to make sure Emily is still there. Luckily I see her. As I'm hugging Calliope, I'm thinking about how younger Asians don't hug their parents, but they hug each other all the time. It's quite obvious that we need love and affection just like every other human being. And we're not robots. And if we can't get it from our parents, we'll get it elsewhere. How've you been, Calliope? I'm doing fine. How about you? I'm doing good. Do you need a strong bodybuilder like myself to carry those books for you? I jokingly brag. Haha. No, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. So what are you doing here? Calliope asks, with an inquisitive look on her face. I'm here on a date with that girl right there, I say, pointing my finger directly at Emily. You can tell how our date's going so far judging by the fact that we've ended up inside a thrilling and exciting, action-packed bookstore, I continue joking. I'm sure it can't be going that bad, Calliope consoles, needlessly of course. Oh, I was just kidding. I'm real having a good time. But you just said that your date isn't going so well since you're at a bookstore, Calliope alludes, with a perplexed and bemused look on her face. Never mind. Hey, I got to get going. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Sure, I'll see you tomorrow. Later. Do you see what I mean? She's an Asian ditz, with black hair instead of blonde. So there you go, guys, if you want a non-blonde ditz, there's plenty with no common sense. Since we're on the subject of Asians lacking common sense, I'll illustrate the reasons as to why, with an example alluding back to Yao Ming. Yao Ming, as you know, is a NBA basketball player, considered one of China's greatest basketball centers of all time and proclaimed as a cultural hero and icon, his superstardom burgeoning beyond the Asian stratosphere. Despite his success as a dominating center in the CBA, Chinese Basketball Association, he does not even come close to that status as a NBA basketball player. Many people use the excuse that he's new in the league and that he's transitioning to the American style of basketball. It's been 7 years and that's not exactly new in the league anymore. 7 years is enough time to transition, so if he can't do it by now, he'll never be able to do it. The truth as to why Yao Ming is a star player in China and a mediocre player in the NBA is simply because Chinese basketball players are not accustomed to the physical, aggressive style of American basketball. Even though Yao Ming is 7 feet 6 inches, he still gets pushed around. Bluntly put, Asians are too timid and feeble, thus, lacking backbone. And it's not just with sports, It's with everything. Asians lack backbone because of the extremely intensive indoctrination and conditioning instilled in them to follow orders and to serve, which causes them not to think for themselves and not to stand up for themselves. This is critical why important to understanding why Asians are the way they are and don't change. This indoctrination and conditioning is a result of the overly extensive use of the power of control. Xi'an Pride Theorem, number 3. Remember how it all starts with just a grain of rice? Start them young to get them young. Throughout the thousands of years of Asian dynasties, all the emperors, kings, and presidents have ruled with an iron fist and formidable will, controlling every aspect of the lives of Asians. Because of the long duration and large-scale domination, it's only natural that Asians continue living lives of subservience and docility. For example, why is there such a huge rich-poor gap in China? 1% controls 99% W. And they are supposedly communist. Meaning everyone is equal in sharing the ownership of wealth and goods. This is the same with North Korea. Asian people can't stand up for themselves, instead, letting themselves get pushed around by those above. They only know how to serve and to follow orders, thus stifling their creativity and mental capabilities, resulting in the lack of intuition and preventing the utilization of common sense. That's why Asians like the Japanese general why improve technology versus invent, just follow what's already done so that there's no need for creativity and intuition to come up with something new. That's why Asians are usual why quiet, they don't speak up in meetings or in class, remaining timid and feeble so as not to cause trouble. That's why Asians save face, trying to maintain a good image, yet not knowing that this is ultimately a form of weakness and lack of backbone. Asians are smart when it comes to high academia, erudition and making money, but when it comes down to the heart of it all, they fail at life. 101. I tiptoe over to Emily and tap her lightly on her right shoulder, then move quickly to her left. She turns to her left immediately and asks, "What? Are you in first grade?" "No, I'm in college," I respond, with a smart-ass tone. "All right, smart-ass, you wanna go?" "Yeah, you want to go see a movie?" "Cool, I'll make sure to pick a chick flick so that you can suffer through it." "I won't be suffering because I'll be making out with someone very special." "Good luck with that because I won't be." Emily teases, pushing me back, then walking out of the bookstore while waving her finger to beckon me to follow. In the words of the renowned Velvet Underground's Lou Reed, S. He's a femme fatale. Upon leaving the Koreatown Gal area, Emily receives a call on her mobile phone, which is in her purse, and as she hastily tries to take it out, accidental drops it onto the concrete pavement of the parking lot. Luckily, the phone is still intact, surviving the long fall, but unluckily, the screen is completely blank and shining bright like a torch flashlight, which is kind of cool. Not for Emily. Mobile phones are very important to Korean are rather girls, so we decide to go to the nearest mobile phone retail store to purchase a new one as a replacement. When I purchased my mobile phone last year, it took me about 2 minutes to decide, but it's taking Emily about 2 hours to pick one, since she's meticulously matching each phone with her cocky brown Coach purse, determining the right choice in color. This sucks because we won't have time to watch a movie, thus, I won't be making out with her. This kind of crap only happens to me. After Emily picks out the mobile phone that perfectly matches the color of her expensive purse, she decides to make the purchase, which I offer to pay without hesitation, but she explains to me that the broken phone is insured by her mobile phone carrier, so she gets a new one at no cost. I really want to pay, because I really want to let her know that I care about her. But I have to tell you that with Asians, as long as they offer to pay, then that's all that matters, even though they really want other people to pay instead of them. Like the obligatory donation box at a funeral or the obligatory fee for a wedding. Asians are known for playing the offering game. You'll see Asians at a restaurant, For instance, fighting over the bill. Iteral ya. And offering to pay, even if they don't really want to, because it makes them look good, promoting an attractive status for themselves, Asian pride theorem, number 2. And since offering to pay is free, Asians are more than happy to participate, hoping that the other party real Y pays. For Asians, it's always about the money, for Johnson, it's always about the truth. 15. Emily and I both decide that it's getting late till why only she decided since I wouldn't mind spending the entire night being with her s. Oh, I drive out of Koreatown and back onto the 101. Heading south. Even at 10 o'clock, there's heavy traffic all along the freeway, a constant battle of changing lanes and avoiding accidents with the overwhelming number of cars going bumper to bumper. I know I keep bitching about the traffic in LA, but it's seriously ridiculous, seeing as how I'll be stuck here all night. I'm lucky that I told my parents that I'll be spending the night at Gabriel's, so that we can both study for the MCAT together, which fortuitously, we'll be taking next week maybe not fortuitously. My parents would have gone off on me if they knew that I was on a date, but what do I have to lose? They already control everything that I do, everything that I wear, everywhere that I go. What else can they possibly do? I guess that if they ever find out that I'm on a date with Emily, then they'll have the feather duster ready to go, which is no big deal because my ass is immune to it by now. Emily turns off the radio for the second time, nothing good playing on any of the stations, thankful Y.S. Oh Johnson, did you have fun tonight? Emily inquires, smiling deeply. Waiting for my answer. Why? Oh, you trying on those dresses for me is enough fun for a lifetime. I honestly tell her. B. Ut, of course, you would have had more fun if I tried on lingerie, right? Emily stresses. Beating me to the punch. Why? Oh, you are wise beyond your years, my dear. I quickly profess, and definitely more. Beautiful beyond your years. T. He last part doesn't make any sense, but I'll take that as a compliment. Emily says. Giving me a puzzled, yet amiable look. We both laugh as I final get into the right lane so that I can take Interstate 5 and get off the dreadful 101. If there is a god of traffic, then he or she, or it USTB in a good mood, because the 5 is wide open and clear for driving. For some odd reason, I don't see a single car on the road, other than mine of course, and I've been driving for nearly 15 minutes. This is a rarity here in Southern California, so I definitely won't take it for granted, not knowing if I'll ever have a chance like this again. I'm very appreciative of the finer things in life, such as no traffic. In a record time of only 35 minutes, I make it to Emily's house, driving the entire way without even speeding. Maybe I should be a professional race car driver instead of being a doctor. My parents will be happy to know that they make more money anyway. Emily tells me the gate code as I pull up to the telecom. The gate opens and I slowly enter the driveway, parking the car near the front door. With no rush to leave, Emily and I just sit there, and the next thing we know, the both of us start chatting about which medical schools we plan to apply to. Her eyes are set on Stanford while my eyes are set on the MCAT. I honestly don't care about which medical school that I get into, since I'm only going because my parents are wanting me to Orking me to, I mean. So as long as I get into medical school, then I'll be fine and hopeful why my parents will be proud of me. I am going to be studying all day and night this entire week for the MCAT, so I haven't even started looking at medical schools. I tell Emily. B. Ut, you must have some idea. Emily insists, not believing my answer. If I had a choice, it would be Stanford just because you're going. T. That's sweet, Johnson. But you need to focus on your future. What will your parents think? H. Honestly? I don't really care anymore. Ever since I can remember, they've been forcing me to get good grades, get a high SAT score, go to UCI and now, medical school. I never get to make any of the decisions and it's my life. I'm real sick of all this pressure and overachieving. Aren't you? I ask, hoping that she'll be honest. Joe. Anson. You're not the only one that feels this way. I'm sick of it too, but what can you do? I just want my parents to be proud of me. I do too. That's why I'm going to medical school to become a doctor and forgetting my dream of becoming a writer. I want them to be proud of me, but sometimes, it's just too much, it's just too much. I start crying uncontrollably. I can't help it. All my feelings of anger and frustration have been bottled up for far too long, and now that I'm finally able to speak to someone about this, I let it all out, without fear or hesitation. I just hope I don't scare the hell out of Emily, since guys that cry don't exactly look cool. Emily unbuckles her seatbelt and hugs me, holding me as I weep. I feel like such a wuss, crying to a girl, but sometimes, things are so bad that you just can't help it. I know what you're going through, Johnson. If it makes you feel any better, I cried last week when my mom told me that I would end up being a prostitute if I didn't get into medical school. He real said that to you? I ask shockingly. Asian parents love to use fear-mongering tactics, like Emily's mom, even though they real don't work and in the end, ultimately hurt everyone involved. Why? Can you believe it? My own mom saying stuff like that. The things that they'll say just to get you to listen to them. It's not like I wasn't already planning to go to medical school. She just wanted to reinforce the idea, so that there's no chance of me changing my mind. But I don't let her get to me. I know she means well. And we both know that our parents care about us, but they just have the worst way of showing it. So don't worry, once we graduate, we'll be off somewhere else and we can start living our own lives. Why? Oh, you're right, Emily. I'm sorry. You must think I'm such a pussy for crying about this. Aha. Not at all. I think you're very sweet. In fact, you want to know something? I've always had a crush on you, even all the way back in middle school. I've always known that there's something about you that makes you different from all the other Asian guys. Don't get mad, but just like you crying right now. I find it honest and refreshing, believe it or not. Other Asian guys wouldn't have the courage to cry, not even the courage to share their feelings. I don't know what to say. I wipe away my tears and put the biggest smile on my face. Why? Oh, you don't need to say anything. I think tonight's been pretty eventful for the both of us. Let's just go inside and get you cleaned up. Emily opens the door to get out of the car and then I follow, getting out from my side. The only light on is the front porch light, since her parents are out of town and her little sister is spending the night at a friend's house. Emily and I at her home alone. Hat can two young, vibrant, and energetic adults possibly do? As I enter her house, my shoes already off, of course I can see that the inside looks just like auntie and oldest auntie's, traditional and passé with antiquated oriental furniture, lanterns hanging from the ceiling, red New Year couplets covering the walls below and wall scrolls that are almost identical in appearance. His interior decorator must be making a fortune. I sit down on the living room couch and grab a couple of tissues from the box of Kleenex on the glass coffee table. I notice a picture of her family in a large, gold garland picture frame, right next to the box of Kleenex. I bend over to take a closer look at the picture. Emily and her sister are standing in front of their parents next to a tall willow tree at Heritage Park in Irvine. It's amazing that my own family took a picture just like this at Heritage Park when Jordan and I were kids. In fact, we were standing in the exact same spot. IJVU. I think all of us have been living in Irvine way too long, even taking pictures at the same place, in the same spot. Now that I think about it, Emily's family is just like mine. Except that I'm not Emily and I'm a dude. But we're alike in that we both grew up with the same austere lifestyle, our parents controlling what we do, where we go, what we become. Then what we think. It doesn't real why matter if you're Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese are all cognizant of this austere programming. Emily comes back from the kitchen with 2 glasses of water, 2 for me, none for her. I am only joking, of course. She sits down right next to me, which instantly makes me forget about everything else in the world. She has a habit of doing this. Is this tap water? I ask, not trying to be picky. Why? Do you want something else? Emily politely asks, being very hospitable. Oh. No, it's okay. You drink tap water. Why? Why? Oh, you know that they put a shitload of chemicals in it? From chlorine, which was invented as a chemical warfare agent during World War I, to lead, arsenic, and fluoride. It's real why bad for you. Doesn't fluoride prevent tooth decay? Emily inquires. There's a difference between natural fluoride and the sodium fluoride that municipal water treatment centers use. Natural fluoride, aka calcium fluoride, occurs natural Y of course, but sodium fluoride is actual Y declared as toxic and hazardous waste by the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. In fact, the Nazis put sodium fluoride in the water to sterilize Jewish prisoners and make them docile. Not to mention the fact that it's the key ingredient in sarin nerve gas and rat poison. Anyway, these municipal water treatment centers purchase sodium fluoride as waste from industries and then pumps it into the water supply. You serious? Why doesn't anybody stop them? Emily asks, expressing solicitude. You serious? Why doesn't anybody do anything anymore? Congress passed the Patriot Act, which violates every single constitutional amendment, but no one does anything about it. George W. Bush and John Kerry ran against each other for president in 2004, yet they're both cousins, but no one does anything about it. Did you know that John McCain was born in Panama but still became the Republican front-runner for president? He was born on a military base, but even the U.S. Department of State declares that that's not sovereign U.S. territory, so therefore, he's ineligible, but no one does anything about it. And with Dick Cheney, the vice president from Texas, selected by George W. Bush also from Texas, even though the 12th Amendment clearly states that the president and vice president cannot be elected from the same state. Dick Cheney has a Texas driver's license, filed his taxes from Texas, owns property in Texas, and was even the president of Halliburton, in Houston, Texas. So guess what he did? He changed his residency right after he was selected as the VP, but no one does anything about it. See? Heck out the big brains on Johnson. How do you know so much? I just read and do research. But not the crap that they teach you in school. For example, did you know that Native Americans were made slaves by early Anglo-Americans? You won't find that in your history books because they want you to think that Americans have always treated them fairly, which is total Y untrue. Also with Thanksgiving, which most people believe involves the Mayflower and Plymouth Rock, but actual Y began as a holiday to celebrate and offer thanksgiving to God for the ambush and massacre of over 700 Native Americans, in order to exterminate non-Christians. Ask any Native American why they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. We are the only ones that do. Anyway, nobody does anything anymore because nobody cares anymore, like with Asians. Don't take this the wrong way, but Asians only care about something in relation to how it affects them. They only care about their self-interest, so if it doesn't involve money, status, or power, then it doesn't matter. W. Ow. You pretty much nailed it. You're right. I'm guilty of that too. But you can't blame Asians, Johnson. It's society. W. L. Last I checked, society doesn't talk, doesn't walk, doesn't have arms or legs. Its society is just an excuse that people use because they don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. Remember the two kids that burned down their parents' trailer and the entire trailer park, because they learned it from watching Beavis and Butthead? Then the parents sued MTV, blaming them for the entire incident. WEL, first of all, where were they? Why were two kids home alone? And couldn't they put a lock on the cable box? They didn't want to admit that they failed as parents, so they blame someone else, since they can't take responsibility for their own faults. Anyway, this is what typical Americans do: blame society or blame someone else but never blame themselves because it can never be their fault. I exclaim lividly, getting all fired up. P. Professor Johnson, I bet you can go on all night. Emily says gently, moving in closer. I think it's time for me to shut up now. Seizing the moment, I lift my right hand to her face, running my index finger across her left cheek and down softly to her chin, curling my fingers lightly at the tip. I lean in, caressing the lower part of her chin, then tilting it up towards me. My lips meet her lips, covering both our mouths with the intensity of passion and lust. Our kiss, even more potent now than at the Koreatown Gal area, shoots a fury of unfurling fire throughout my entire body, consuming me whole. My tongue eventual locks with hers, no key able to undo the embrace, nothing able to sever our unity. I ease myself on top of her, lifting my right leg as I move sideways and accidental kicking the box of tissues and the picture frame, both falling to the floor. We ignore the minor mishap and my hands slide down to her hips, pulling her closer to me. I can feel her body shaking, throbbing as I tighten my grip on her delicate hips, my breathing long and deep as I take in her wonderful scent. Emily grabs me by the gape of my neck, tenderly kissing and licking the tips of my ear, which sends electricity and frenetic energy down to my pulsating heart. I don't know if I can take any more of this. I cup her right breast with my hand, holding it snugly and letting it rest in my palm, then guiding my other hand up on her shoulder to slide down the strap of her bra, setting it free, setting her free. Emily stiffens her body as she gets up, putting a stop to our after-school activity. EY. Let's not do this. Why? I know, I interrupt, T's only been our first date, so we should take things slow. And not go so fast. Oh. I mean, let's not do this Here on the couch. Let's go upstairs. Emily instructs. Her smile just like heaven. I'm going to get lucky. She wraps her hand around mine and leads me upstairs to her room. She turns on the light and I see numerous MCAT preparation books all over the floor and on her bed as well. What a turn off. She hurriedly knocks them off her bed and onto the floor with the rest of them. Here they truly belong. ND turns on the desk lamp with the press of a button. She then flips off the light switch and advances towards me in the still, now dimly lit room. Had a turn on. I touch her fabulous face with fondness and gaze into her magnificent eyes, which gleams of chestnut. Emily then pushes me down to the bed and says Tay. Like I'm a dog, which I'm more than willing to be. She walks into the bathroom, presumably to freshen up to get ready for you know what, and closes the door. I just now realize that my condoms are in the car. I quickly run down the stairs and out the front door, half naked and shoeless. Grabbing the condoms from the glove compartment, I rush back into the house and upstairs into Emily's room. Upon entering, I see her wearing an exquisite red satin, strapless corset with matching lace thong panty and fishnet stockings. I am a deer caught in the headlights, in the word of the judicious Keanu Reeves, W. Hoa. Emily breathes a sigh of relief. F. For a moment there, I thought you got cold feet and decided to run off. I move in towards her and draw her against my body. I knew this night would end with you in lingerie. I run my fingers through her hair and lift my other hand to show her the pack of condoms. Why? Oh, you're wrong. Emily says, surprising the hell out of me. W. Wrong? Wrong about what? W. Wrong that it's going to end with me in lingerie, Emily declares boldly, untying the front strings of her corset. W. Hoa. 16. Today is the greatest day in the history of the world. It's good to be alive. It's good to be me. When people say, S. Top and smell the roses, I now know what they mean, because I'm stopping at every flower that I see, taking in all the sweet aromas as I walk over to Gabriel's house. I don't even care that I'm supposed to drive just because I'm from Irvine. I feel like taking a walk and enjoying the fresh, open air because I got laid last night. Today is the greatest day in the history of the world. I turn around the corner to see Gabriel sitting outside on a bench in his front patio, his feet resting on a pile of MCAT preparation books. He best footrest money can buy. H. E. Y. Loser. I yell from a distance. H. E. Y. Winner. Gabriel yells back, his clairvoyance impressing me. I can see you dancing and prancing, so I know something good happened between you and Emily last night. I hit it? I reply, as Gabriel's next door neighbor looks at us, obviously overhearing our loud conversation. S. Oh, how was it? Gabriel asks, with a smile bigger than a birthday girl given her first pony. L. Let's just say she won't be walking for a while. I brag with intrepid confidence. Why? Oh, you dog. Gabriel yells again, his neighbor drawing in closer to our conversation. A. Tell why she was the dog, cause I canine D her from. L. Let's get out of here. Gabriel interrupts and quietly whispers, S.I. N.C.E. my neighbor is a nosy gossip monger. We get into his mom's car. Gabriel completely wrecked his car 2 days ago from racing B.I.G. Surprise, which is also a BMW 550i, completely shocking that Asians drive luxury cars. I love sarcasm. Gabriel drives us to the Barnes & Noble bookstore right off Interstate 5, so that we can study diligently, of course F. or the MCAT. Gabriel loves coming here because there's a Starbucks inside. Asians in Irvine and the rest of Orange County love to congregate at Barnes & Noble and Borders, since they can study and get high on caffeine, America's favorite legal drug. Whenever Gabriel drinks just 2 cups of coffee, he acts like a monkey on crack. And on coke mixed with crystal meth, and while we're at it, throw in a bottle of Prozac. That's why I have to limit his caffeine intake, just like what a bartender does for alcoholics drinking beer. Maybe it's not such a good idea to come here after all. I wouldn't want Gabriel starting a Starbucks bar fight with the other coffeeholics. Anyway, we need to get studying or else we'll both do miserably on the MCAT. After only about an hour and my brain fried like an egg, I decide to quit studying, as I get up to take a walk around the bookstore. The good thing about studying here is the myriad of magazines including adult ones I can read whenever boredom strikes me at its hardest, or whenever studying for the MCAT strikes me at its hardest. I decide to skip the magazines altogether and go over to the graphic novels section. I love reading the latest collections of DC Vertigo and enjoy checking for new works by Neil Gaiman and Mike Carey. While I'm going through each shelf of books, I see an Asian kid about a few feet below from me sitting on the floor, with piles of comic books next to him. There are also 2 plastic cups with straws p. Probably iced mocha judging from Al that. Whipped cream n. Ext to him as wel. He reminds me of a little version of Gabriel, a precocious young lad getting Al his daily vitamins and minerals from highly caffeinated, highly sugary beverages. Maybe I should introduce the 2 so that they can be brothers. Hyperactive brothers addicted to legal drugs. I finish looking through all of the shelves for new graphic novels and I see the kid, from the corner of my eye, getting up and taking off, leaving the pile of comic books and 2 empty Starbucks cups w. Had a lazy little shit. That's the 4th N. Oh, 1000th T. I've seen that. Spoiled Asian kids coming in here and leaving their crap for someone else to clean, like they're at home and their mommies look after them. Asians take everything for granted because they figure that they'll become doctors or lawyers one day, with people having to serve them, when in actuality, they're the servants t. Oh, their parents when they retire. I know that picking up after yourself isn't an Asian thing, but you'd be surprised at how many Asian people don't do it. I walk back to the table to tell Gabriel about the little bastard, and he immediately waves me over to show me a very detailed A. And very good drawing of a giant penis with testicles, obviously not his own because Asians have small. Anyway, I'm pretty sure his drawing won't be covered on the MCAT. G. Abriel, you're supposed to be studying, not drawing dildos. I scold, hoping that he'll grow up, at least before next week's exam. F. First of all, it's a cock W. Ith bals. Second of all, why are you walking around then? Instead of studying. B. Because I'm done studying. I arrogantly reply. D. 1. We've only been here for an hour. There's no way that you're done. I studied before today unlike you, Nimrod. I'll show you a rod. Gabriel smirks, pointing at his obscenely distasteful drawing. W. L. If you do bad on the MCAT, you won't have a rod anymore because your parents will chop it off. Why? Oh, you know why I'm not laughing? Gabriel asks moronical why. He points his left index finger at me, holding a stern look in his eyes and exclaims, B. Because you're right. A. And D. If I do bad, my parents will chop off my rod A. And D. BALS, so I'm in the same shitty boat as you are. That's why we have to study or else we're screwed. A. Alright, alright. Don't get your panties in a bunch. I got panties in a bunch last night at Emily's. I say boastful why. H. Arr. Wel, don't worry about the MCAT. Because if you fail, you can always be a comedian, Gabriel advises sarcastical why. G. Abriel, why do people make such a big deal about scores? I find myself changing the subject. I mean, seriously. Getting straight A's, high test scores T's not like they ask you for your SAT score when you check in a hotel or board a plane. Everyone makes such a big deal about scores, but in the real world, no one gives a shit. H. EY, bro. You're preaching to the choir. For most Asians, school is life and life is school. For us Japanese, work is life and life is work. We excel in the classroom and in the office, but in the real world, we are outcasts. We are minorities, not just because of the yellow color of our skin, but because of our beliefs and our way of life. We're so focused on money, status, and power that we don't care about anything else. That's why no one cares about us. Gabriel finishes saying. Why? Our philosophy ranks up there with Kant and Rousseau. I snicker, half lie and half truth. Why? Oh, you know that I'm right about the money, status, and power obsession. Gabriel. persists, advocating his tenets. Oh, of course, you're right. Actual why, I'm right since I'm the one who came up with the Asian pride theorems, remember? Why? Yes, Professor Small Johnson. Why? That's real why original, Ga Abriel. Why? Our mom's original. Why? Ouve used that before, you unoriginal prick. I'll show you a prick. Gabriel points at his drawing yet again. Why? Ouve used that before, too. VE used your mom before too. Gabriel won't be stopping anytime soon. We've been here for only an hour, studying for the damn MCAT and neither of us has accomplished anything. We're so screwed. 17. Today's the big day. Today will make or break me s. Aim with Gabriel, Emily, and every other Asian person, at least the ones taking the MCAT, which is probably all the Asians in Irvine. Today is D-Day for Asians. I arrive at the MCAT testing center about an hour early, so that I can get ready without any complications, since my life is fraught with complications. This place looks just like a prison facility, with plain white walls and welded wire mesh panels covering the windows. I bet this place is just as secure, as two guards walk from room to room W. Hat I wouldn't give to. See the look on Gabriel's face when he gets here, I'm sure that he'll be reminiscing about the wonderful week that he spent in jail. What most people don't know is that taking the MCAT is a day-long marathon. The entire exam is nearly 6 grueling hours. And you thought the SAT was bad. I'll explain the MCAT exam to you succinctly, which I'm sure will still bore you to the point of mental anguish and suffering, but too bad because I've also suffered, being Asian my entire life. The MCAT is comprised of a total of 4 sections, in the respective testing order: physical sciences, verbal reasoning, writing sample, and biological sciences. The physical sciences section concentrates on physics and physics-related chemistry. The verbal reasoning section concentrates on reading comprehension but with a focus on social sciences, humanities, and natural sciences. Joy. Next is the writing sample, which presents 2 essay topics for writing. Last and definitely not least, is the biological sciences section, which concentrates on basic biology and biochemistry, the most important part of the entire exam. I can't think of anything better to do with my 6 hours than to take the MCAT. I love sarcasm. Also, just to let you know, a perfect score on the MCAT is 45 with T, 15 for each section and T for the writing sample, using a grading scale of J. T, with J being the lowest and T being the highest. I have to get at least a 30 with P to be considered by most medical schools. Aside from that one day at Barnes & Noble with Gabriel, I've been studying my ass off, locking myself in my room and avoiding all the regular distractions like television, radio, even my mobile phone. I called Emily only once this entire week, since she's also studying her ass off. I just now realize that Asians have a compulsive fixation with asses, spanking asses and studying their asses off. Maybe I should make a theorem about this. I walk into the testing room and sit at the computer assigned to me. I'm allowed a pencil with scratch paper. I've never been to jail but this real why feels like it. Talking, no. Friends and locked inside a room, on the bright side, at least no parents, too. Many experts suggest taking exams in a healthy test-taking environment that is conducive for maximum score efficiency and results. I don't think they consider jail a real good environment. It's almost time to take the MCAT. My heart is pounding from nervousness and anxiety, my hands shaking and legs gyrating. I have to suffer through this because those bastards wouldn't let me bring in my stress bal. I keep telling myself that everything is okay, that everything will be fine, that I'll ace this exam just like the others. I even remember to recite the mantras of good test taking: utilize time management, pace yourself, maintain a good attitude and keep a sharp mental awareness. I am a MCAT machine, ready to go. But I would much rather be a MCAT machine with the answers, ready to go. To my left, I see a very attractive Asian girl, probably Vietnamese A. And D I could be wrong since we all look alike s. Sitting at her computer, ready to take the test as well. She is wearing a very seductive outfit, a sexy black strapless top, tight hip-hugging black mini skirt, and black stiletto high heels W. Hoa. It's bad enough that I'm nervous, but now I have this new distraction that I definitely don't need. I find it rather inept that a girl would get all dressed up just to take the MCAT. OT that I'm complaining, of course. Someone once asked me why Asian girls get all dressed up to go to class, and I told him that it's why quite normal. The main reason, obviously, is to get attention, hopeful why attracting a male with a strong moral character and benevolent disposition yet. Alright? They are hoping to land a rich guy to pay for all their stupid crap. The other reason Asian girls dress up, which most people don't know, is that most of them live a sheltered, austere life. Asian parents, particularly the father, are very strict and oppressively dictate what they do, what they wear, where they go IG surprise. So they get dressed up to go to class because they can't get dressed up to go anywhere else. Of course, this isn't the case with every Asian girl, but there are a hell of a lot that get dressed up just to go to class at UCIN. OT that I'm complaining. Of course. The instructor comes into the room and notifies us that we are about to begin the MCAT. He reads aloud each of the instructions, as if he's a flight attendant heralding the usual pre-flight safety speech. My hands are still shaking and my legs are still gyrating, but I think I'll be fine once I start taking the exam. After all, what do I have to lose? Very thing, of course. The instructor announces that we are to start now. I click my mouse to see my first question. What is the relative? I'm so screwed. 18. S. Oh, how'd you do? Gabriel asks, anxiously waiting for my answer. U. H. I drone sol enly. Jo. Anson, how'd you do? Gabriel repeats, again waiting for my answer. U. H. I drone again sol enly. H. Air, drink this, Gabriel instructs, giving me a bottle of beer in order to comfort me. We're sitting here drinking at the bar in Gabriel's favorite restaurant, Che, named after Che Guevara, an Argentine Marxist revolutionary leader, also a guerrilla warfare commander, aka terroristic mass murderer. I see so many people wearing Che shirts, like they're so cool, but they don't realize that Che murdered and promoted the execution of many innocent people, people who did not follow him. People need to read their history, but in order to do so, they must first learn what to read. Anyway, I'm too angry to talk about this since I just bombed the MCAT. It's surprising to me that Gabriel is taking things lightly, since he also bombed it. Sometimes, you just know even before finishing a test that you bombed the hell out of it. I am going to need a lot more than just one beer, I fuss at Gabriel. I am way ahead of you, Gabriel shoots back, an urgent smile on his face. I just ordered 6 more. I am going to need a lot more than just 6 beers. I fuss again. Okay, drinking away your sorrows won't get you a high MCAT score. Gabriel. Reasons, trying to make me feel better, even though he's failing. I lift my head with a stern look in my eyes, as I point to Gabriel with my right index finger and say to him, "You're right." I know I'm right. I'm always right, Gabriel arrogantly confesses. Except for the MCAT. I didn't get too many right on that. Hat are we going to do? I ask Gabriel. Hat can we do except take it again? B. We both studied our asses off. WEL, at least I did. There's no way we're going to do WEL the second time. Plus we'll just lose face by taking it again. WL, let's not worry just yet. I mean, we still have to wait about a month for the results, right? Who knows, we may be total Y wrong. We might even get a 45T. I know you're an optimist, Gabriel, but you're also an idiot. I'll be lucky to even get a 25J. I studied so hard, for nothing. L. Okay, not everyone's cut out for medical school. You can always go take the LSAT. And get into law school. Why? Oh, you know how I hate court. You do, too, mister. I spent a week in OC jail. There's no way either of us are going to law school. T. Hen, what other options do you suggest, Johnson? W. L. I would suggest engineering, but it's too freaking late for that. Plus, my parents would literal Y kill me for taking the third place option. Your parents will kill you too, I remind Gabriel. T. Hen, I guess we'll have no choice but to wait until we get our results. Gabriel concludes, wanting to change the subject. D. You'd, listen. If we get below a 25, the repercussions are extremely serious. My parents are going to go apeshit and yours will too. I know, Johnson. But don't worry about a thing, everything will be fine. And again, we have to wait until we get our results. So let's just chill out and relax. Gabriel's right, he's always right, except for the time that he told me that Jane Tannenbaum liked me in 4th grade. Lie, and the time that he told me that girls had a vagina and a penis, when we were in middle school i.e., and the time that he told me that Stanford University will accept anyone as long as they're Asian, to fulfill a minority quota i.e. Now that I think about it, he's rarely right. He lies a lot. I just hope he's not lying about how everything will be fine once we get our MCAT scores. After about an hour and about 100 beers in our stomachs, we both continue sitting there, sobering up, and thinking about how we'll tell our parents the bad news. I like Gabriel's approach, lie. I think I'll do that because I can still my parents until I decide whether or not to take the MCAT a second time. Then again, they'll ask for the results of the first one, which will be in about a month. I think I'll just tell them that I did fine, since that'll buy me some more time to come up with a better excuse, when they do indeed find out that I bombed it. I arrive at my house late in the night. To my surprise, I don't see mommy or daddy Ot. Even Jordan. I walk upstairs to the game room to watch TV and suddenly, I hear C. Congratulations. All three of them are standing there, next to a celebration cake on the circular game room table. I can't believe that they're doing this for me. D. R. Johnson, my parents both say, patting me on the back, the most affection that I've ever received from them. S. Oh, how the MCAT? Daddy asks first, mommy coming in a close second. I think I did WEL. I lie, rapidly chewing my gum in order to neutralize my beer breath. Why? Oh, you think or you know? Daddy asks, almost turning his smile into a scoff. W. Hat I mean is that I know I did WEL. I'm just saying I think because I won't know the results for a month, I lie again, better than any politician on Capitol Hill. Oh. Okay. Remember, you need make us proud. Daddy exclaims, all my life reiterating that same proverb over and over again. Why? Yes, Daddy. I acquiesce. S. Oh, you do good on MCAT? Mommy asks, as if she hasn't been paying attention. M. Oh me, I'm sure I did very WEL, but I still have to wait a month for my score. T. Hat means your date of execution will be in a month. Jordan insults, like always. H. AR, har. That means your date of ass hooping will be in a month after I get my awesome test results, I counter back. Why? Oh, you two stop. Daddy demands, while pointing at me and not at Jordan. Why? Yes, Daddy. I acquiesce again. P. Least don't worry. I'll get into medical school just like you want. I. T's not we want. Mommy interjects, B. Because it about your future. You must prepare. Your future. Like I haven't heard this before. My future? My future is supposed to be me as a writer, not doctor. They won't admit that it's their future, since I'm their future retirement fund. Why? Yes, Mommy, I acquiesce to the other parental unit. Why? Oh, you need to listen to your little sister and stop being a loser. Jordan adds officiously. Butting in by throwing another insult. I stick out my tongue at her, like a spoiled, call-out toddler. I start to raise my middle finger at her as well when Mommy tells me to come over and cut the celebration cake. Damn, the cake looks good, tall and dense with fluffy white frosting all over, toasted almond flakes along the sides, an assortment of fruit at the top in cascading layers. Sliced peaches, kiwis, strawberries A. and D written in royal blue icing, D. R. Johnson. Next to a cute, little toy stethoscope and head mirror. This cake sure as hell ain't organic. I cut the cake into several pieces, giving the biggest slices to Mommy and Daddy. I give Jordan the smallest, and she immediately grabs the knife to cut an even bigger slice for herself. I decide to eat a small slice, since I feel real bad about the whole thing. It's not like I lied to them, Till why, I did. I just don't want them to be angry with me. I look up to see the smile on Daddy's face and Mommy laughing out loud. Van Jordan's enjoying the occasion. I'm smiling as well, thinking to myself that this is the happiest moment in the history of my family. It's just too bad that it all comes from a lie. Half lie, yeah, I know, a lie is a lie. After I finish my small piece of cake, I excuse myself to my room, careful why thinking about what to say to Emily. If she finds out that I bombed the MCAT, then she'll drop the bomb on me. I wonder how she did, probably a hell of a lot better than me. She called twice earlier, but I didn't pick up because I was drinking away my problems with Gabriel. Now I have to call her back or suffer the polemical wrath of a Korean girl. H. EY Emily. H. EY Johnson. So how'd you do? I think I did okay. Why? Oh, you think or you know? What is it with everybody? I bombed, okay. I won't know until a month from now. So how'd you do? N. OT to toot my own horn, but I know I aced it. There was not one question I had trouble with. I think I got the prestigious 45T. Emily brags, clearly tooting her own horn. Ow. That would be amazing. I've been told that only a handful of people have ever achieved that. Why? I know. It would definitely be amazing if I got the 45 also. Oh, by the way, did you get my messages? I called you twice earlier but you didn't pick up. Oh. Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. Gabriel did real bad, so I had to console him. At the library, I lie once more. P. Oh, Gabriel. I guess he goofed around too much. Why? He should have studied as hard as me or else he wouldn't be in such a big mess. I say, going along with Emily as if I did just as well as she did on the MCAT. Oh. Or at least study just a little. Seriously, Johnson, If I was going out with Gabriel and I found out that he did poorly on the MCAT, I would dump him. I don't like screw UPS. I can't believe what she just said. What a prude. H. How can you say that, Emily? W. Hat do you mean? Look, if he wants to be a screw up, that's fine. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to be with a screw up. Oh. Okay, so I guess everything for you is based on status, huh? You're such a typical Asian. E. Excuse me, Johnson. Emily asks, not believing what I just said. Why? Oh, you heard me. I thought you were different, Emily. I thought you were better than that. I guess I was dead wrong. F. Uck you. How dare you talk to me like that? H. How dare I? Did you even hear what you said? You sound like the typical Asian and you know it. You want to know something else? I bombed the damn MCAT. I did miserably on it. So since you wouldn't want to be with a screw-up, then that means you don't want to be with me. There's a long pause, longer than anything I've ever waited for. N. Oh, Emily mutters, final Y saying something. N. Oh, what? N. Oh, I don't want to be with a screw-up. So goodbye. I can't believe this. First I do miserably on the MCAT and now my girlfriend breaks up with me. Fuck the MCAT and fuck her. I can't believe all this shit is happening to me. One day everything is great and the next day, everything sucks ass. It sucks to be me. It sucks to be alive. Today is the worst day in the history of the world. 19. My phone is ringing off the hook and not in a good way. I know it's Gabriel that keeps calling, since each call is exactly 1 minute apart. Apparently, he's using the auto-redial feature on his mobile phone. I just don't feel like talking to anyone. It's been 3 days since I took the MCAT and I still feel miserable. I just want to be alone right now, right here in my room. Being lonely is a blessing in disguise. No one bothers you, no one asks you for any favors, and most importantly, no one criticizes you. That's how so many Asians truly are, lonely. They may have a lot of friends and live in a big family, but deep down they are truly lonely because they have no one to share their problems with, no one to confide in, because they are too ashamed to talk to anyone about their personal issues, in order to save face. I know because I'm that way. I can't talk to anyone about how I truly feel, even with Gabriel. We both share the same problems, yet we don't talk about how we truly feel, because both of us have been indoctrinated with saving face. I swear, Asians save face just to save their own asses. W. Hat? I ask, final Y picking up the phone. S. Ince, when are you so rude? Gabriel snaps back, ready to fight. S. Ince. I pause for a moment. L. Okay, I'm sorry. You're the one person that I shouldn't be an asshole to. N. Oh, problem. I know you're upset. To be honest, I am too. But there's no use in worrying about the MCAT. What's done is done. We just have to keep our heads up. So let's go out tonight. We'll go grab some dinner and go clubbing. A friend of mine is working the door tonight. I am not in the mood. N. Either am I. But who cares? Let's just go out and have fun. Gabriel's right, he's definitely right. S. Oh, is this a date? Because if it is, then I better get some at the end of the night. I joke, lifting up my own spirits. S. You'll get some. Some of your left hand, our right hand. I'm not sure which one you use regularly. Gabriel snickers, already lifting up both our spirits to normalcy. I use both hands regularly. And your mom? Why? Oh, you real why need to get out because your comebacks are getting horrible. Gee. I've me a break, I've been trapped inside my stupid house for 3 days. S. Oh, have I? But I'm still funny, unlike you, Johnson. Why? Oh, you re funny looking. S. What I mean? Horrible. I'm coming over. Gabriel hangs up the phone quickly. Without the chance of me changing my mind. I real why don't want to go out, but I might as well. I have no girlfriend, no future, no life. All I have is Gabriel. I real why am a loser. Gabriel comes over and heads straight into the kitchen, right for the refrigerator. He grabs a loaf of organic rye bread, a red ripe tomato, some fresh green lettuce, a pack of organic turkey deli meat and a jar of mayonnaise. He starts making himself a sandwich, and all this time he has only said one word, H. L-O. I. If your parents aren't feeding you, I can call CPS and have them arrested. I kid. Watching him pig out on his sandwich. Why? Oh, you'll be doing me a favor. Gabriel laughs, his mouth still full of chewed up food. W. Here are your parents. T. Hey went up to Palo Alto to talk to Jordan's advisor about getting her into Stanford Medical. I. Thought Jordan's only a freshman. I. Thought so, too. Apparently, that's not too young to start applying for medical school. Why? Oh, you know what would piss off your parents? Gabriel asks, changing the subject. I. Started going out with Jordan. Actual why, that would piss you off, too, so that's a double whammy for me, wait, a triple whammy. Gabriel exclaims, holding 3 fingers to signify daddy, mommy, and me. Why? Oh, you'll be doing me a favor. Go out with her so that she'll be miserable, because that makes me happy. W. L. If that makes you happy, then forget it, Gabriel concludes, dropping the subject of hooking up with my little sister H. How disgusting. Anyway, why are you eating? I thought that we're going to go grab dinner before we head out clubbing. I say to him, leaning over on the kitchen counter. Why? This is a snack. I'm a growing boy. Gabriel jokes. You're. Look, I'm going to go get ready, so just hang around and do whatever. But don't surf porn on the computer. My dad keeps complaining to me about all the lesbian and gay porn pop-up ads, and I have to keep telling him that it has to do with Microsoft's security vulnerabilities and bugs. First of all, a little porn never hurt nobody. Second, those gay porn pop-up ads belong to you, not me. Heard, you used a double negative in a sentence. You have to say a little porn has never hurt anybody. I correct Gabriel, looking at him as if he just failed a writing assignment. Why? People love to be corrected, Johnson. Keep it up, I just love that you keep correcting me, Gabriel stresses sarcastical why, still munching on his sandwich. With my best southern accent, I drawl, well caution then. I won't learn you no more since you don't like no grammar and all that fancy book learnin'. I am sick of Gabriel's shenanigans, so I head upstairs to get ready. I'm just glad that I changed the password on the computer before he arrived. I decide to take my car, my parents' SINCE. Gabriel will drive more recklessly than ever, knowing that a bad MCAT score means a life not worth living. I head straight onto Interstate 5, going northbound, all the way up to LA. Why? Oh, you should let me drive, Gabriel insists, not giving up. Why? Oh, you should shut up, I say, my voice very steady. I will. Just tell me where you want to eat. Anywhere, it real why doesn't matter. As long as it's not Korean. I'm sick of Korean food. And girls. I told you to be careful with Korean girls. Gabriel's right. A. And I told you that Emily's hot. S. He's not worth it. No girl is worth all that trouble. I think every guy knows that. But guys just can't help it. W. Omen. Gabriel murmurs, turning on the radio. We both hear the Stooges and immediately start playing air guitar. Who needs women when you have the Stooges? We both decide to go eat in Little Tokyo, the Japanese district of downtown LA, before heading to Club Mode in Hollywood, which is about 20 minutes northwest. Gabriel knows the best Japanese restaurants since he used to come here all the time and not anymore because he's sick of Asiatown's S. Oh, I let him take command by choosing our place of dining. We walk past the Japanese Village Plaza towards a wide promenade full of restaurants. Gabriel points to the gourmet restaurant, Seppuku, which he claims serves the freshest sushi and sashimi in all of California, even though he's never been inside. There are several hostesses standing outside, all wearing silk furisode kimonos in various bright colors and wooden geta sandals, with tightly braided hair in the style of geisha shimada. They greet us in Japanese and welcome us in. Gabriel reciprocates by speaking Japanese and they all start waving their hands, signaling that they don't understand. As we head inside, Gabriel turns to me and says, with a surprised tone, "T. Hoes lying motherfuckers. They're fake Japanese. H. Aha. What do you expect? You're dealing with Asians, for crying out loud. They'll just grab a bunch of immigrants, pay them crap and teach them a couple of Japanese phrases, just to provide the Japanese appeal for customers. It's always about the money." One of the hostesses leads us to the back of the restaurant, to a very dim room, with the only light illuminating from candles on each table. Before sitting down, we both notice a red rose with white flowers in a small, clear vase, in the middle of our table. The hostess giggles a little to herself and leaves the room before I can say, W. Eerie not gay. A. Little gay never hurt nobody. Gabriel laughs hysterical. Why, getting me back for correcting him earlier at my house. S. He thinks we're gay, not just me. I retort, with a look of reproach. Oh. Yeah, Gabriel concedes. W. He bombed the MCAT and now people think we're gay. Our lives can't get any worse, so who cares? Let's just eat. Before I sit down, I grab the vase with the rose, moving it over to the table behind us. I don't want anyone getting the wrong idea, not that there's anything wrong with that idea. I let Gabriel order because he has a culinary eye for Japanese cuisine. Since he is Japanese. As Gabriel peruses the menu, I look around the room to check out the other customers. I see a Spanish couple to my right, an Asian couple across from us and an African American couple behind them. We're in a room full of minorities. I hope this isn't intentional segregation by the restaurant. I find it interesting that minorities all have black hair, Spanish, Asian, African, Native American, even Jewish. I wonder if it's some ploy to relegate people with black hair. Gabriel finishes ordering and tells me that this will be the best dinner that I'll ever have the pleasure of eating. I tell him that it could be the worst dinner that I'll ever have the displeasure of eating, as long as he's paying. I'm real why not that picky, but Gabriel is a connoisseur of fine dining, like many native Japanese. The hostess that presumes we're gay, brings in another couple into the room, a Caucasian couple this time, to seemingly fulfill the affirmative action quota. We're in a room full of couples, too. Why? Oh, you know, Gabriel, we're the only two guys sitting together. This doesn't look good. Q. It being such a homophobe. Gabriel urges. I am not. I love the gays. I'm just saying this doesn't look good. H. Abe, you notice that none of the couples is wearing a ring? Look at their ring fingers, Gabriel directs observantly, with his habit of changing the subject. Why? Oh, you rewrite. Well, we are in LA. No one gets married until death. I just think it's funny that everyone waits to get married in LA and everyone rushes to get married up north. T. Hat's the same with the Bible Belt states. I know a guy in Texas that just got married, even before he graduated from college, just because he felt pressured from his other married friends. Why? People just fall out. They see their friends and family members getting married, so they get pressured into following. Just like everyone here not getting married, so they follow each other not to get married. Gabriel assents. Marriage is so overrated. And so antiquated. People think that getting married will solve all their problems, that they'll live happily ever after, like in a fairy tale. Then why is the divorce rate over 60% and more people seeking marriage counseling than ever before? Hell, I know several people that are married and are completely miserable. Because being miserable with someone is better than being miserable alone. Gabriel. Kids, laughing at his own joke. We both know that marriage won't help them solve any real problems, even their insecurities of succumbing to peer pressure. In fact, marriage just creates a myriad of new problems. People give in to marriage and settle with one another, particularly with Asians. Of course, there are people that are truly happy being married, like Congressman Ron Paul and his wife, Carol Paul. But for the most part, people just do it because they see other people doing it, to maintain the status quo, Gabriel adds. Why? Let's not talk about marriage. I get enough of that crap from my parents. E2. Let's just talk about banging sheiks. I think we can both agree on that. Our waiter, also not Japanesey, even though he's wearing a traditional jinbei male kimono brings out a huge sushi boat, full of an assortment of delectable items, rows of sashimi consisting of tuna, yellowtail, snapper, albacore, and mackerel, many pieces of sushi including red salmon, sea urchin roe, and cuttlefish, small side dishes of seaweed, tofu, and edamame green soybeans imply outstanding. The boat itself is actual a small replica of a pirate ship, with all the main parts, sails, masts, a ship steering wheel, an anchor, even a white skull and bones black flag impressive. His is just for starters. Gabriel says. Smiling with glee. After we sink the sushi boat with our ravenous appetite, the waiter comes out and serves our entrees, for me, Wagyu beef tartar with white alba truffle pieces in a light aioli sauce dressing, plus, cilantro seasoning, for Gabriel, unagi with foie gras, covered in a rich, savory kabayaki sauce, also with cilantro seasoning mply marvelous. Gabriel mentions that our dessert will be green tea sorbet, topped with vanilla ice cream and covered in Anko red bean mousse sauce Unfurling waves of paroxysmal pleasure go through me, as I make a drooling sound like Homer Simpson. This is truly the best dinner that I've ever eaten in my entire life. I'll give it to Gabriel, he's definitely an expert when it comes to fine dining. I just wish he's an expert when it comes to the MCAT instead. We leave the restaurant, full to our stomachs and full of elation, and head over to Club Mode in Hollywood. Most people think of Hollywood as the movie capital of the world, where actors and actresses flow like water from a fountain. That's true, for the most part, except most people don't know that Hollywood has the most crazy people in the world oh joke. I remember seeing a guy walking down Sunset Boulevard in a skiing outfit earring actual skis on his feet. I remember another time seeing a little person dressed up as Yoda from Star Wars, painted green all over, carrying the classic wooden cane and it was not Halloween. Hollywood is fucked up, but it's also a lot of fun. That's why we're going there tonight. We arrive at Club Mode, in the heart of the Sunset Strip, and decide to skip the valet because we're not a couple of prudes. And wouldn't you know it, he line at the door is full of Asians. In fact, every single person is Asian and the vast majority are guys. Any girl that's there seems to be with a guy already. I swear every time that I go clubbing, it's always a sausage fest, aka sword fight, a special Y at a club full of Asians, with the average guy-girl ratio being 100 to 1, very slight exaggeration, of course. I guess most of the Asian girls are locked up at home by their parents. And I find it interesting that there's always an Xi'an invasion. Whenever I go clubbing, Asians like to show off their money and status, and there's no place better than at a club, where drinks at Club Mode are at least $20 a shot. Plus, this goes back to my whole theory on Asiatown, like Koreatown and Japantown. Asian people congregate together because they are insecure and too afraid to be different, because of the pressure to conform. They can't be unique, so they have to share the same, common archetypal culture, just like those Asiatowns. Why be a pauper fish in a big pond when you can be a kingfish in a small pond? Gabriel and I head straight for the door, avoiding the long line of Asians. We get stone cold stares similar to the one that I got from the old man with the CIA shirt as we get to the front of the entrance. Gabriel introduces me to his friend, James, the manager of Club Mode. James tells us to go in, and we are immediately swarmed by Asian people, as if we're celebrities walking the red carpet. Even a little thing like being on the guest list is enough status to attract attention from Asians. One Asian guy comes up to me and says that he'll buy me drinks, if I let him come in with us. Another guy comes up and tells me that he'll get me a table, which provides an ample selection of vodka and wine. I politely decline both offers, and as I walk in with Gabriel, two very beautiful and tall Asian girls grab the both of us by our waists. Both of them are wearing snug tight camisole tops, ass-hugging flirt skirts and stiletto pumps with straps. Please have mercy on me. Why? Oh, you're cute, one of the girls says to me. She's cuter. Us with you, the other girl insists, pulling Gabriel in. Whom are we to decline? All four of us walk in together. There's no better entrance for two guys than with two gorgeous girls. I be three gorgeous girls, or four, or how about 100? Gabriel and I introduce ourselves to Shirley and Janine, our newfound damsels of the night. I ask the three of them what they would like to drink before I head over to the bar. Beer. New York kind. Gabriel requests. Vodka tonic. Shirley requests. Perfect pussy. Janine requests Hoa. Excuse me? I ask Janine, making sure that I heard right, hoping that I heard right. Perfect pussy. It's my favorite drink. Tea's my favorite now, too, I happily announce. I'll be right back. I order the drinks and bring them over. Shirley and Janine excuse themselves to go to the bathroom. Gabriel and I tell them that we'll be waiting on the top level upstairs. Oh, which one do you want? I ask Gabriel, hoping that he picks Shirley so that I can get Janine and some of her favorite drink at the end of the night. I want Janine, Gabriel answers briskly and adamantly, without hesitation. I knew he was going to pick her. Amen. Let me have her. I just broke up with Emily and my parents are going to kill me for bombing the MCAT. I haven't gotten laid in a year and my parents are also going to kill me for bombing the MCAT. I win. Till why, we both lose. Hat? Gabriel asks, caught off guard by my statement. L. Okay below, I direct, pointing my finger at Shirley and Janine dancing with two other guys. B. Itches. Gabriel yells in disbelief. T. Hey, played us like two cheap hookers. A. Till why, expensive hookers, those drinks alone were $100. W. Omen. Gabriel laments. B. Itches. We decide to drink a couple of more beers before we head down to the dance floor. Club mode is actual Y rather spacious, with 2 levels and 4 bars, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. There's also a huge lounge area next to the dance floor and a lounge area here at the top. Most importantly, club mode provides a bountiful harvest of scantily clad Asian girls, wearing the sexiest and skimpiest outfits, lacy halter tops, strapless corset dresses, skinny satin pants, seductive swing skirts, and the most erotic of all, come fuck me shoes st. Awning. Spike heel platforms, peeping Tom pleaser pumps, thigh-high leather boots, stroppy stiletto sandals. Oh. Please have mercy on me. Gabriel taps me hard on my left shoulder and points to a go-go dancer up on stage near the mezzanine. She is definitely gorgeous, amplified by the fact that she's almost naked, wearing only a pink bikini bra and panty with white knee-high stripper boots. I want to marry her, Gabriel maunders, the girl's ass-shaking dance spell hypnotizing him into a trance. Why? Oh, you want to marry her? No, you don't. You want to fuck her. Let's get that straight. Would you really want to bring her home to meet your parents? Would you really want her to take care of your kids? How about taking her to church? So no, you don't want to marry her. You want to fuck her. I exact, gladly correcting Gabriel yet again. I hate it when guys say that they want to marry a girl but in actuality, all they want is to do her. I want to fuck her. Gabriel maunders, accepting my correction, the go-go dancer's ass-shaking spell still hypnotizing him into the same trance. We decide to stop being wallflowers and go down to the dance floor. There's a sea of Asian girls dancing one-on-one, grinding against each other, their bodies inexorably chafing in heat, as if the friction itself will seemingly cause a fire to ignite. Oh. Please have mercy on me. Gabriel squeezes his way in and starts dancing with 2 girls, hoping to start a fire himself. I look around and see a voluptuous Vietnamese girl dancing by herself next to the stage. I walk up to her and say hello. She stares me right in the eyes, then looks me down from head to toe, and on the way up, she gives me a disapproving look and shouts, hello my ass. I am a doctor, I lie. Why? Oh sorry, what's up? She politely greets, changing her tone of voice. I will be a doctor. I truthful why say. Actual why that's a lie, too, since I'm sure that I bombed the MCAT. She turns her back to me and proceeds to walk to the lounge area. Excuse me. Princess. You midget ho. I scream out, as she disappears into the crowd. See what I mean about Vietnamese girls? They are short, small, and grow up not having anything, so they put up a front to make people think that they're hot shit, like with so many Asian girls. And coincidental why, when you tell them you're a doctor or lawyer, they'll give you the time of day all of the sudden, letting down their defensive guard of insecurity. It's always about the money. I rush over to Gabriel and push him out of the way so that I am sandwiched in between 2 lovely ladies in a delicious dance which. Gabriel laughs and starts dancing with one of them from behind. We both grind our way into oblivion. Oh. What a night. Exhaustion overtakes us from dancing non-stop, so we head straight for the bar to get drinks. Gabriel orders several more beers and I start talking about how much I miss Emily. He tells me to quit whining and bitching, but I just can't help it. She dumped me because I did poorly on my MCAT. And I still don't know my score. That's probably the absolute worst dump in history t. Oh, get dumped for something that hasn't even happened yet. After about 8 beers n. Oh, 12 or maybe 14, I lost count. I am completely drunk, and so is Gabriel. Gabriel maunders to me about how sober he is to drive. I tell him that I'm sober enough to kick his ass if he drives, so he decides to talk to James about crashing at his place, since he lives in Hollywood. Gabriel stumpers back, dangling a key, and says that we can go straight over to James's place. That's good news. I'm sick of all these Asian girls. Asian prudes, I should say. Anyway. We leave club mode holding one another, with one arm across each other's shoulders, because we are inebriated beyond our normal functions. As we walk together, I overhear a girl saying, "Why? I'm going to fuck him. 'Cause he's rich." First of all, I hate it when girls say they are going to fuck a guy. They can't fuck a guy because they don't have something called a penis. The guy does the fucking and the girls get fucked. Girls always think that they control everything. Second, girls will fuck anything that's rich. Here's a joke, though I may be too drunk to articulate. A very rich, old man walks up to the youngest, most beautiful college girl that he's ever seen and flat out asks, "Would you sleep with me for $1 million?" She looks at him for a moment and answers, "Nothing after that." "Just one night of sex with you for $1 million? Hell yes, I will." The man then asks her, "Okay, how about for $20 in the back room over there?" The girl is completely in shock. "I would never. What kind of a woman do you think that I am?" The man smirks and says, "Oh, we've already established what kind of woman you are. Now we're simply haggling over the price. It's always about the money." Gabriel miraculously guides us all the way to James's apartment, right off of Sunset, and, crap, I can't make out the sign. I am too drunk. Luckily, Gabriel has a higher alcohol tolerance, so we reach the elevator to get up to the 5th floor, the floor of James's apartment. We both stagger down the hallway, and I finally notice that James's place is real nice and looks real expensive. I wonder whom he had to sleep with to get his apartment. "Come on now," Gabriel commands, holding my waist tightly with both of his arms to keep me from falling. "Come on now." Why would you have to say now? Is there ever a come on later? Just say come on, because now is implied, thus making it superfluous, so that in itself would be grammatical. Why? Johnson, you can come on and shut the fuck up now, because we're here. 2 locks click and the door opens, as we rush in. Gabriel and I stumble over to the couch and pass out. It's bright and early morning now, as I hold my head tightly because of an intense headache, probably due to the hangover that I'm suffering at this moment and most likely for the rest of the day. Gabriel's still asleep, not moving as I nudge him on the shoulder. During the night, real early morning, I should say, I heard moaning and squealing noises coming from the bedroom, presumably because James was banging some chic Ucky bastard. I walk over to the kitchen and open the refrigerator door. As I look for bottled water, I hear the bedroom door open and someone walking to the kitchen. I look up to see the same voluptuous Vietnamese girl who blew me off at the club. Had a small world. Hello, she says softly and politely. I stare right into her eyes, then look her down from head to toe, and on the way up, I give her a disapproving look and shout, "Hello my ass. Payback's a bitch. Détente. 20. Today's the big day. Today will make or break me. Aim with Gabriel, Emily, and every other Asian person, at least the ones finding out their MCAT score, which is probably all the Asians in Irvine. Today is D-Day for Asians. Today is D-Day for Gabriel and me. The MCAT scores haven't actually been mailed out yet, but I received an email announcement earlier today stating that they're available online. Of course, I'm too impatient to wait for that damn letter, so I'm going to log into my computer and find out my score. Except I'm too nervous to check. What if I do worse than bomb it? Actual why, that's still bombing it? What do I have to lose? J. UST everything. I hear my mobile phone ringing, the Cal ERID flashing Gabriel's name. H. EY. I answer. D. ID you check your score? Gabriel asks, impatient as WEL. I. M. No I haven't. Have you? N. O. I'm too nervous. M. E2. A. Re your parents home. N. O. Y. W. L. My parents are home and I don't want to be here when. C. Over then. I interrupt, without the need for an explanation. Oh. K. I'm leaving right now. Gabriel comes over and heads straight for the computer this time, instead of the refrigerator. I'll go first, he submits, ready to take the MCAT bull ET. 2T. Gabriel mutters unintelligibly. W. Hat? I ask, making sure I heard clearly. 2T. Gabriel yells, anger getting the better of him. I let it go because he has every right to be upset. I will soon have that right, too. Right. Let me check mine. As I'm typing in my username and password, I feel a sudden shock rush through me, like lightning through a metal rod in the middle of a wet field. Here I go. 1J. I yell in anger, louder than Gabriel. Re you thinking what I'm thinking? Gabriel asks, clairvoyant in his inquiry. Why? Yes. We've already made plans ahead of time, in case of an emergency Like this. Right. Give me a couple of hours to get the stuff. I let Gabriel leave in silence. We both know what we must do. True to his word, Gabriel comes back in a couple of hours. He's holding a plastic bag, full of the items for our plan. Why? Oh, you got the stuff. I utter gently, my voice quavering. Why? It was easy, Gabriel utters gently as WEL, his voice not quavering. T. That's the good thing about being biology majors. We both know the most potent stuff to use. Why? You know what's funny? I studied my ass off and you still ended up doing better than me without even studying at all. You even got a perfect T for the writing sample. Why, Johnson, I did study my ass off. I just made it look like I didn't. There is a long silence between the two of us, a silence that we both find soothing and comforting, a silence that we both experience as mutual harmony. I find it ironic. I tell Gabriel, after an undisturbed, peaceful minute. W. That's that. T. Had we spent our whole lives trying to be doctors, with the chance to save lives, and now we're doing the complete opposite. Why? It is ironic. Gabriel says, not laughing. Why? Oh, you know what's also ironic? W. That's that. Why? Oh, you've always wanted to be a writer. WEL, here's your chance to final YB1. Why? That is ironic. I say, also not laughing. W. L, give me an hour and I'll have it all written out. I grab a pack of new, unopened multipurpose copy paper from the bottom drawer of my computer desk. I open it, take out the first sheet, and with a despondent hand, I write, to whom this may concern, to those who give a damn. Right at the outset, Gabriel and I, Johnson, both assent to the entire content of this letter, so I speak for him as well as myself. Asian culture, as with all cultures, has a myriad of wonderful traditions and customs that contribute to society, traditions and customs that should be understood and appreciated. However, Asian culture also has a myriad of not so wonderful traditions and customs that impede society, which need to be understood but not appreciated. Contrary to the belief of many, Asian culture is not perfect, Asian people are not perfect. In fact, many people do not know the truth about Asian culture, the truth that it's fraught with problems, the truth that it's fraught with greed, many other truths which I shall reveal. Allow me to delineate. Asians are known to be quiet and reserved, the reason is because Asians wish to hide their problems and insecurities. For instance, Asians possess many shortcomings, no pun intended. In general, Asians are short, small, skinny, minorities in America even small down. You know where. To make up for these shortcomings, they imbue themselves with the practice of overachieving, getting straight A's, high SAT scores, excelling at playing the piano, becoming doctors and lawyers, buying luxury cars, living in expensive homes in order to conceal all their problems and insecurities, so to maintain a good image, aka saving face. This provides the illusory perception that Asians are very successful and auspicious, but in reality, they are very dysfunctional and maladjusted. Summarily, why are Asians so quiet and reserved? Simple, to hide their dysfunctional and maladjusted lives, just to save face. Why do Asians overachieve? Simple, to hide their dysfunctional and maladjusted lives, just to save face. Asians can't have people thinking that they aren't perfect, even though they are unequivocal. Why? Far from it. Along with the vast majority of Asians all over the world, have been bred to only achieve success, no matter the cost. We are raised like docile robots, manipulated for the agenda of money, status, and power, according to my Asian pride theorems, which I will explain meticulously. 1. Money. 2. Status. 3. Power. It's as simple as that. Asians are obsessed about money and will exercise whatever means necessary to obtain it. With money, they can achieve a high status economical, societal, political. Mage is everything. With money and status, they have power, the power to control, the power to influence, any type of power, even the most trivial, as long as it's power high. Because Asians have many shortcomings and know that they can't why be on top, so any power will do. Why be a pauper fish in a big pond when you can be a kingfish in a small pond? Throughout the thousands of years of Asian dynasties, all the emperors, kings, and presidents have ruled with an iron fist and formidable will, controlling every aspect of the lives of Asians. Because of the long duration and large-scale domination, it's only natural that Asians continue living lives of subservience and docility, indoctrinated and conditioned beyond belief. Asians, thus, can't stand up for themselves, instead, let themselves get pushed around by those above. They only know how to serve and to follow orders, thus, stifling their creativity and mental capabilities, resulting in the lack of intuition and preventing the utilization of common sense. Therefore, Asians lack common sense, ingenuity, and intuition, so in turn, they are easily manipulated into becoming machines to overachieve and overwork. That is why Asians want power, even the most trivial power, because they've been controlled and subservient their whole lives, so these powers off little a. Everything to them, since they have nothing else. Asian culture has been this way for too long. The main problem with the cupidity for money, status, and power is that it's cyclical, forced down from generation to generation, which keeps going like a hamster on a wheel, never stopping and getting deleteriously worse and worse. But all this can be changed since life is about change. Life is not static, life is dynamic. It's always changing, just like us. Every day is not the same, even the meals that we eat are very different. So if life's about changing and people do change, Asian culture can also change, for the better. Of course, many Asians feel that there's no need for change. Then why is the suicide rate for Asian Americans astronomical why higher than Caucasians, Hispanics, and African Americans? Why does Asia have the highest suicide rate in the world? Why do 2 million women attempt suicide in China every year, with many more not counted due to saving face? Why is it considered normal to commit suicide in countries like Korea and Japan? This is not normal. This is abnormal. This needs to change. I must point out that there is nothing wrong with being Asian. There is nothing wrong with being Chinese, Japanese, Korean, etc. In fact, it's okay to practice traditions and customs, so that everyone can understand and appreciate them. However, focusing only on your own culture is ethnocentric. Sheltering out other cultures is ethnocentric. Asians must evolve by appreciating other cultures, a special why here in America, or else the problems will just continue. Many Asians are indoctrinated with the ideology of ethnocentricity. Ethnocentricity is what causes prejudice. By learning to understand and appreciate other cultures, Asians can start understanding how to resolve issues and problems within their own. Final why, some might say that things are the way they are and cannot be changed, because Asians are too ingrained in their own culture. I'd like to point out that slavery used to be the norm but that changed. Segregation used to be the norm but that changed. In fact, Barack Hussein Obama became the first black president in the history of the USA in 2008, ending the 200-plus year reign of white and male. So anything can change, even Asian culture. The truth is that Asians are too afraid to change, because they've been indoctrinated and conditioned too much to know how to. That's why a billion people in China are willing to serve and follow, even though they know that they're living lives of enslavement. But it's okay to be afraid. Gandhi was afraid, so was Martin Luther King, Jr., so was John Lennon. But they gathered enough courage to get people to work together, which is what we must do in order for things to change, instead of being isolated in our own little Asian islands. By working together and helping each other, we can change anything, instead of taking advantage of each other or using one another. As Seymour Stein said, things can't continue going. They have a tendency to stop. If the problems of Asian culture can't continue going, they will stop. In conclusion, if Asians decide to change for the better, then they need to first admit that there are problems with Asian culture and more excuses. They will then realize that the solution is to build better relationships by communicating more effectively and showing love and affection towards one another, special why towards their own children. It's simple in concept, but Asians make it seem like it's rocket science. To mommy and daddy, I know that I have always been a disappointment to the both of you, my entire life. I know that the both of you like Jordan more, her winning by virtue of comparison. But I just want you both to know that neither of us feel any love from either of you. I am very lonely. I cannot talk about my problems, share my feelings, confide in anyone, because I have to save face. That's how so many Asians truly are, lonely. They may have a lot of friends and live in a big family, but deep down they are truly lonely because they have no one to share their problems with, no one to confide in, because they are too ashamed to talk to anyone about their personal issues, in order to save face. I hope the both of you can change, for Jordan's sake. To Jordan, I know that we have our differences, but please know that I love you. To Gabriel's family, there's a bag of weed under his bed. Please don't smoke it, but get rid of it in case the cops come. Believe it or not, that's all he wants to say. Summarily, I would like to state that no one person is at fault, not my parents, not me, not society, but everyone. We all must work as one in order to change for the better. Or I will always be yellow on the outside, shame on the inside. I hand the finished letter to Gabriel. He reads it, smiles and gives me a hug, the hug that I've always wanted from my parents, the hug that I'll never get from them. I lock the door to my room and tell Gabriel that I'm ready. He replies that he's ready too. I wonder who will be doing our eulogy. Outtakes. Thank you very much for reading my book. I could not fit everything into my novel for one reason or another, so I decided to include the section of outtakes with proposed scenes. Scene, Chapter 2, in Johnson's room, first-person reflection. Character, Johnson. Outtake. The most popular excuse that Asian parents like to use to coerce their children into becoming doctors and lawyers is the old "we've suffered and struggled through so many hardships when we were younger, so we just want our kids to have the best life possible." Justification. I like to call this justification the old bullshit routine. First of all, every parent, not just Asian, uses the old bullshit routine for a multifarious number of reasons: to get their kids to eat their vegetables, to get their kids to go to bed, to get their kids to go to school, etc. For example, parents love to say, "I had to walk 10 miles to school, 10 miles back, in snow all the way up to my waist even in the summer, while wearing a huge backpack and carrying 100 books in each hand." We are all cognizant of this old bullshit routine. This is just parental propaganda to get their kids to do something, anything, like forcing their kids to become doctors and lawyers. Second, there are many Asian doctors and lawyers today, many who are very wealthy and successful in America as well as the rest of the world. Then why are they still forcing their own kids to become doctors and lawyers, even though there's no more hardship? After all, these Asian kids didn't have to suffer or struggle with a rough life growing up, since their parents are doctors and lawyers. The fact of the matter is that it has nothing to do with struggles or hardships, it has everything to do with the power of control, per my Asian pride theorems, forcing their kids to become what their parents want, hence doctors and lawyers for the bling and the bling. It's always about the money. Scene, Chapter 5, in the guest room of Auntie's house, first-person reflection, character, Johnson. Outtake. I find it rather interesting that the most popular Asian surnames have to do with wealth and power. For instance, the most popular Chinese surname is Wang, which means king, aka power, since so many Asians want to be kings. Other Chinese variations include Wang, Vong, and Ong. What's interesting is that the king last name is also very popular with other Asian cultures, the Vietnamese with Vuong, the Korean with Wang, the Malaysian with Ong, and the Singaporean with Ong as well. Notice that the king last name is pervasively similar throughout the Asian cultures. They feel that having a king last name would really give them the power that they desire. Now let's talk about the wealth surname, starting with the Koreans with Kim, the most popular Korean surname. It's also very popular with other Asian cultures, Chinese with Jin, Chin, and Kim, the Vietnamese with Kim and the Japanese with Kin. Again, notice that they look and sound similar, some of them even the same. Asian culture real Y is just one pea in a pod. Of course, not every Asian has a last name associated with money, status, or power. I just find it interesting that the most popular Asian surnames have to do with money, status, power, prosperity, luck, wealth, etc. You get the idea. It's always about the money. Scene, Chapter 8, in Johnson and Emily's molecular biology class, first-person reflection. Character, Johnson. Outtake. What people don't realize is that college is a business, just like every other business. Its primary focus is to make money, not to teach. A friend of mine goes to Caltech and he told me that they intentionally increased his tuition by 25% for the sole purpose of competing with the tuition fees of the top Ivy League schools and nothing else. He actually has to pay a lot extra just to make Caltech look Ivy League and not for any real purpose like books, room, and board. or anything else that would further his education. Moreover, the average college student upon graduation owes almost $50,000 in student loans. Medical students like me owe on an average over twice as much. Arizona State University, for example, has a total student enrollment of close to 70,000 students. Now imagine all the college students with student loans that attend ASU. You can see how profitable college is as a business. And once these college students graduate, most won't be able to get a job right away, so they'll have more debt just from daily expenses and everyday living. When they finally do get a crappy paying entry-level job, they'll have so much debt accumulated from student loans, interest on the student loans, car payments, rent, etc., that they'll have to work like slaves in order to pay the bills, forever at the mercy of debt, just like the average American. It's a sad, sad world that we live in. People need to realize that you don't go to college to learn. You go to college in order to get a good job once you graduate. That's basically why it. I guarantee that virtual why no one would go to college if it wasn't a prerequisite to getting a good job. As Mark Twain once said, Don't let schooling interfere with your education. Furthermore, colleges and universities used to provide bachelor degrees with 2-year programs. Do you know why it's 4 years now? Because they make double the money versus just 2 years. That's why the first 2 years are filled with basic courses, courses that teach the same crap that you learned in high school and middle school. They have to fill up that time with something, so it might as well be crap, since you don't learn anything in the first place anyway. One study showed that 73% of college graduates do not work in their field of study. In other words, the vast majority don't even end up doing what they majored in. Then why go to college in the first place? Hint: college is a business. Summarily, people must understand that learning is a lifelong process which does not come from a total of 4 years of academic propaganda. People must also understand that college is a business, just like church is a business, just like every other business with the purpose of making money. Some may wear a different face, but they all wear the same idea: it's always about the money. Frequently asked questions, FAQ. Question: why would you write a book that's not true? My answer: this book is a didactic novel, aka literary fiction. But I know what you mean. I wrote this book based on my cognizance and the lives of others, including my own life. There are people who wouldn't agree with what I say, just like I wouldn't agree with what they say. Life goes on. Question: why did you write this book? My answer: the suicide rate for Asian Americans is astronomical, why higher than Caucasians, African Americans, and Latin Americans. In fact, Asian Americans have the highest suicide rate among women. Moreover, 2 million women attempt suicide in China every year, with many more not counted due to saving face. This needs to change, and I believe my book is conducive as a start for that change. I see too many Asian children indoctrinated and conditioned like overachieving robots, here in the United States and in Asia. This won't stop until we all work together, as I have luminously delineated in the last chapter, détente, of my book. Question: not all Asians are like this, so why would you write about this stuff? My answer: please read the introductory section of my book, a note to the reader, as I have stated my position with luminous clarity. Question: why are you a racist? My answer: I'm an Asian American, born and raised in New York City, the largest multicultural and multi-diverse city in the world. My heroes include John Lennon, Mahatma Gandhi, and Martin Luther King, Jr. I don't think racists would have those aforementioned heroes. I tell it like it is, and if you don't like it, then write a book. That's what I did. Continued. Question: do you know that many people don't agree with you? My answer: attaining assent and partiality from people, particularly from the general public eye, is not my objective. My objective is to bequeath knowledge and information unto people so that they can think for themselves. People today don't think for themselves, instead letting corporate lamestream media rape their minds with propaganda and subliminal bullshit. I recall a political cartoon in which a man sitting on a couch and sweating profusely, yells to 9 television screens in front him, col actively broadcasting ABC, CNN, Fox, NBC. MSNBC, I wish they would hurry up and make up my mind. I have the courage and audacity to write and publish my tenets, you should have the courage and audacity to make up your own mind, not let me or anyone make it up for you, a special why not corporate lamestream media. If you don't agree with me, then write a book. That's what I did. Question, you mentioned that you're a former Asian. How can you renounce your ethnicity? My answer, in my book, I stated. Why can't we all just be Cal-ed Americans, since all of us are, after all, Americans. People are people, regardless of ethnic distinction, just because I'm considered yet LO or CH Inc. or G. OK. Or SL. And Is doesn't mean that I have to be. I renounced my ethnicity, Chinese, because I do not like the egregiously selfish and deplorable culture. People have said to me, why? Oh, you can't change who you are. Why don't they? Tell that to those who got plastic surgery. They changed. Why don't they tell that to those who got a sex change? They certainly changed. Hell, people even undergo skin pigmentation surgery to make themselves W. Hide. Or B. Lack. They definitely changed. Summarily, people don't define who you are, you define who you are.